My name is Michele Bosak, and I got my BFA and MFA in drawing and sculpture, and I also have a background in museum studies. Go ahead. So for much of my life, I've really moved around very frequently. I've lived in a lot of temporary spaces with temporary furnishings, yet as an adult, I began to kind of buy and amass a lot of items for a potential home that I hadn't moved into yet. And for a 3-year period, I lived in DeKalb, Illinois, and trying to, the emotional impact and the nagging need to feel invested in a really small apartment and a city that I wasn't invested in really proved challenging. So it made me start thinking about, how do we define a home? Is it a building? Is it this gallery space? Is it a feeling? Is it the people that we surround ourselves with? So the furnishings that are in this gallery were purchased on Craigslist and eBay and a lot of secondhand shops. And I found that this compulsion to kind of accumulate these domestic furnishings really did a great job at providing me with this feeling of contentment. But it was through this consumption that I also felt like a social space of my own was attainable. So psychologically, I'm feeling like the more that I can consume, the more furnishings and household goods I can amass, one day I'll be able to actually use them. However, because my apartment was really small, a lot of the pieces went right into storage into my house in Michigan. So I would do a drawing of the piece before it would go into storage, and they became a reminder of what was absent, but also something I could look forward to. So this past week I was in Indianapolis, and I was invited to come down to do an installation in a metal shipping container. And I have about 20 moves under my belt right now. And I've recognized that I don't necessarily attach myself to houses or spaces, but more so what I put in those spaces and the experiences that I have in them. So over the course of the week, I began modifying the interior of this crate. I installed some flooring, I brought a bunch of furniture and drawings, and just kind of set up camp. I also lined the walls of the crate with the drawings that I had done over the past couple years. And as my collection grew with these furniture and objects, I also began kind of cataloging my purchases. So each one of the drawings has an accompanying title card that has didactic information of what the object is, where I purchased it, how much I purchased it for, and the date.